everybody, this is Blue Fire Witch coming back to respond to another one of, Saunders' silly videos attacking pagan gods.
Hi Saunders, it's Prince Christopher here. I know I'm like your the nightmare here, your little nightmare on YouTube. I was gonna make a video to Saunders about Odin here when I saw it. Anastasia had made 2 videos to him prior, pointing out his flawed logic and his complete ignorance in regards to paganism. And I wanted to make a video to him about Odin that he just made, but Anastasia said, no, I want to do it. So I said, okay, we'll both do it. And so I decided to join her on this video. And Odin is not a god that I worship. I want to make that clear, but I do want to point out, as well as Anastasia will, point out the complete ignorance of Saunders.
Yeah, I happen to know a little bit about Odin and have worked with him a little bit. And I wanted to kind of reiterate that, Saunders keeps trying to act like these pagan gods are so foreign in concept. But really, Odin never really left our thoughts and minds. And I'll explain that in a little bit after we get into the video.
He's the chief god of Norse paganism, ruler of Asgard. He's the son of Bor and Besla. He has an 8-legged horse. He has a magic spear that never misses its target. He has a couple ravens that fly around the earth, check things out for him,
So here's what I have a problem with, Saunders. You have a problem with Odin having a magical staff, but yet God can give Joseph the coat of many colors, which gives him prophetic dreams, and that's okay. Secondly, Odin has ravens, but God has angels, so I don't see the difference here. We're talking about myth and ideas of myth, and each time you bring something up that you think is crazy from one religion, I can bring something up equally or more crazy from yours.
He has one eye. He traded one of his eyes to drink of the well of wisdom. Isn't that interesting that a god needed to trade his eye to acquire wisdom?
Kind of like your god had to trade his son to acquire peace in the world.
You would think that one of the attributes of God would be omniscience. See, the Christian God is omnipotent, omniscient, and omnipresent.
Okay, this is the thing that's really going to get you, Saunders, and a lot of other Christians. Now, I know that you claim to be a Calvinist, and I'm going to get to that in just a minute, but what I want to talk about is the Christians who believe that God is all-loving, all-powerful, and all-knowing. Okay? Now, Saunders, I'm trying to get you to understand this, okay? I know you're not going to accept this video response, but I know you're going to watch it, okay? I know you're going to tuck tail and run just like all the other times, but I know you're going to watch this video, so I want you to try to understand this, okay? Now, think about this for a second. Why would a God who's all-knowing, okay? You might be a Calvinist, and you might not necessarily think that God is all-loving, if you're that sort of Calvinist, but you do believe God is all-knowing and all-powerful. All-powerful. So why would an all-powerful God have to sacrifice his son to forgive the world? If he's all-powerful, couldn't he just say, okay, I forgive everybody? And if you believe that God is all-knowing and all-loving, like a lot of Christians do, think about this now. An all-knowing and all-loving God will put someone on this earth knowing that they're going to go to hell? Are you serious? He's all-knowing, so therefore he knows that when he puts somebody on this earth, he knows whether or not they're going to go to heaven or hell. So he'll put somebody on this earth knowing they're going to go to hell, and then he's all-loving? Just think about this, Saunders. Get your nose out of that Bible and think. All right, think. Now, when it comes to Calvinism, Calvinists believe they are God's chosen people. Well, you're not a Jew, Saunders. Sorry to tell you, you're not a Jew. Think about the Calvinism there for a second.
Here's the problem. You cannot have a just God that sentenced people to an infinite hell for finite sins. It makes no sense. Especially when he gave them the urges for those sins to begin with.
Exactly.
Secondly, you can't have an all-powerful God that creates an imperfect universe. A God who is perfectly powerful cannot create an imperfect universe. Perfection cannot beget imperfection. It's not possible. Thirdly, you cannot have an all-seeing God that cannot find his own people. If you look into Genesis, the story of Genesis, after Adam and Eve ate the fruit from the forbidden tree, they hid from God, and God could not find them. And he said, "Where are you?" Now, how is it that Adam and Eve were able to hide from an all-seeing God?
And another thing about hell is that, I don't understand why hell is eternal, and according to the Bible, according to Christian beliefs, hell is eternal torment beyond anything imaginable forever and ever and ever. So, I don't understand it. Why would God sentence someone who committed, let's say, 80 years of, let's say, minor sin, lying, cursing, things like that? They didn't kill anybody.
He had sex with his wife before he married her. Yeah,
they didn't do anything like kill people, anything like that, but they committed these minor sins, and they didn't get forgiveness for it, and they go to hell forever and ever and ever. So God would sentence someone to eternal torment like that for 80 years of sin. The punishment kind of doesn't fit the crime here. Why get punished eternal for 80 years of sin? Eternity is forever. Doesn't God forgive at some point?
Right. It's absolutely stupid. It's absolutely stupid that an all-powerful God would have to kill and sacrifice a human being in order to, forgive the sins of the world. It makes no sense.
What I've noticed about these pagan gods is they're trying to acquire knowledge, and look at the other two pagan gods we looked at. Pan, half goat, half man. Horus, body of a man, head of a bird.
And yet we've owned you on both of those videos, Saunders. It just doesn't sink in with you, does it? Okay? You don't know enough about the religions you're talking about to form an opinion. You really don't know a whole lot about your own religion, as we've pointed out many times. So you're not achieving anything by making these ignorant videos. You're just making yourself look stupid, and you're getting owned.
The difference is that the pagans understood that the universe was not perfect, and therefore the gods could not be perfect.
But Odin, he's an interesting character. He traded his eye to get wisdom. A couple ravens. He's got 2 wolves. I guess he's a big wine drinker. He really likes to drink wine.
I've seen a lot of depictions of the Last Supper. Just about all of them have Jesus drinking wine.
Okay. Wow. There you go, folks. Odin. Come to Jesus. Come to the Lord. Come to the true and living God while there's still time, folks.
Saunders, you're a Calvinist, so why are you telling people to come to Jesus before it's too late? I don't care how much you argue it. I don't care how much you reword it. The bottom line is that the founding principle, or at least one of the founding principles and beliefs of Calvinism, was that God had already decided who was saved and who was not. He had already decided who would go to heaven and who would go to hell, so there was no need to worry about it or try to alter it. That was a founding belief of Calvinism. That was a founding belief. So you cannot be a Calvinist and think that people have a choice. You can't. Blessed be.
See, Saunders, the big problem I have with you attacking Odin is that you don't know what you're talking about. Odin is one of the gods from pagan times that's still probably most present in today's culture, and I'll tell you why. See, Christians still celebrate old pagan holidays. Namely, Easter and Yule, or Christmas, come from the ancient Norse, the ancient Germanic peoples. Just like Odin came from the ancient Germanic and Norse peoples. And on winter solstice, which the ancient Germans called Yule, and today is still referred to as Yuletide on Christmas, Odin took his wild hunt or wild ride through the night sky on his 8-legged horse, instead of the 8 tiny reindeer that are used today. And as you can see, Odin bears a striking resemblance to another famous Christian icon, seen here as Santa Claus. So the whole idea that you want to think that he's so far from the mainstream is ridiculous. Because quite honestly, Santa Claus is more popular than Jesus Christ. So if you really think Odin is that terrible, I expect you to give back every Christmas present you ever got. No, we all know that's not going to happen. But the whole idea is that by damning Odin and acting like Odin is so terrible, every kid that believes in Santa Claus, you're basically damning them as well. We wouldn't have Santa Claus without Odin, and it's pretty obvious if you look at the mythology where the holiday of Christmas came from, and it's very ingrained with the idea of Odin and his wild hunt through the night. The idea is that we all live and thrive in mythology. You too, Saunders.